Hi, it's Sandy from Sandy Beach Bum. So I'm just mixing up some resin today for a new project, and I normally mix it up and then turn on the camera and start talking, but sometimes I have a hard time talking and doing something when I'm concentrating at the same time. So I thought I would just turn this on and just tell you a couple of things. So first of all, don't be too upset with me, but I made a bowl yesterday without the camera on because I love my music and I love to work to music, and I was finding that when I tried to make a video and post it to YouTube, it heard the music in the background and then banned me from any income from it because it was a copyright infringement. So then I tried muting the background audio, and you can hear that on a video or two, and it sounds terrible. So yesterday I was like, I want to try something a little different. I want to just be able to relax to some music and have fun and not have to talk and think while I'm doing stuff. So I made a bowl without you, and it's curing right now, and it was spreading a little bit, so I have it sitting in another vase to keep it tight, and I'll show it to you later. I'll post it at the end of this video. I decided to add the photo now, and what I'm going to do is post a short video on the differences between making this bowl and bowl number 3. So if you're interested in finding out what I did differently, check out that video. So now today I have no music on, which makes me really sad because I just love my music. But I wanted to make a video of what I'm going to do today. And also I wanted to tell you that the last video I posted, I used saran wrap or cling wrap on here to pour on, and it was an unmitigated disaster. Like, I just can't get it out. I'm going to be picking at the new vase I made for 2 hours to get it all out, and yesterday I picked at the Caribbean Splash one for an hour trying to get it all out because it tore. So no more cling wrap for me. No more silicone mat for me because they're expensive, and that tore 2 times. 2 times I used it, second time far worse. So this time I can't go to the store and like buy some, shelf liner, that sort of heavier clear paper or plastic. So I had this bright idea. I was going to use a Ziploc bag, a big one, but I have one left and it wasn't big enough to cover this surface. I was like, perfect. And then I decided, hey, when I bought this plastic table cover to protect this, I did a double layer, and I still had a ton left over. But look at all this. I have loads of it. I just unfolded it to do this, so I have to fold it back up. So I cut a piece for here, and it's heavier than cling wrap. Oh, see, I should have been stirring the whole time. That's my 3-minute mark. Let me just stir a bit more. So it's heavier than cling wrap, but not as thick as the silicone, obviously. But I'm hoping it'll work. Like, please let just something work so that I can get working on these things and not be worried about it sticking all the time. So I have mixed my resin. I have one little cup with some sand in it, and this sand is a mixture of different Caribbean beach sands that I brought home. I collect beach sand, and I put it in IKEA milk bottles, and I label them, and I have them in a cabinet with all my other special beach finds. And so when I have a bit too much for the milk bottle, I just put it all in one Tupperware, and so thankfully I saved it, never knowing what I would do with it, but I saved it, and now it's going to come in handy. Okay, so a little bit in the sand, and then, actually I don't need 2, I only need 1. No, I do need, No, I only need 1. Sorry, I plotted this out in my head, but not very thoroughly. Okay, so then we'll put some in here for the base. This is going to be the base of our bowl, and then I'm going to tint this, and this will be the rest of the bowl. I actually don't want to tint all of this because I don't think I'm going to use it all. So I'm going to pour some in here. I haven't cleaned this out from yesterday yet. It's still got dried resin in the bottom, and I usually peel it all out. I haven't done that yet, but that's fine. It'll work for now. Okay, so that way I'm not tinting all the resin if I don't need it. Okay, so I'm going to pour this sand mixed with resin right in the middle here. and hopefully it won't spread too far. And then I'm going to drag it out a little bit because I want it to kind of look like it's splashing a little bit with water when I get that other resin on here to look like water. So I'm just dragging it out a tiny bit. We'll see how that looks. I want it to look like it's splooshed. Oh, I love this. Okay. Now I'm going to add just 2 little seashells so that when you look into the bowl from the top into inside, you'll see the sand and a couple of little shells I thought would be cute. So I'll put shell here. And let's see if I have, this is sand that I just scooped off of a beach. Oh, I think it was in Australia, but I don't remember. I should have labeled the bag. And it had shells in it, sand and shells. I'm pretty sure this was from Perth, but I'm not sure. So yeah, okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mix up my ink that goes over this, and I have to figure out which is the lighter of the two now. Oh man, these I think almost look exactly the same. Aqua and teal. I can't remember which one I said was more green and which one was more, oh, that's the more blue one, I think. Let me just look at the other one. Oh gosh, it's so hard to tell. Okay, let me have a quick look here. Sorry. I might cut this part out of the video. I'm always editing bits out where I'm either breathing too heavy or doing something that I don't like. Okay. I do a lot of sighing, and you just don't mind it. It's my stress relief valve. When I'm a little stressed out, I sigh. Okay, so I'm gonna do 3 drops like I did before because I want that same color that I got in the Caribbean Splash Bowl. Oh, is this the wrong one? Yeah, this is the wrong one. It's too green. Dang it all. Okay, let me try a different color here. You know, it's so, and I don't even know which one I put in there. Ugh, I have this uncanny knack. It's uncanny. If it's a 50-50, I always pick the wrong. Always pick the wrong. It is one of the most aggravating things of my life. I'm going to let these colors set up a little bit for 20 minutes because I don't want them running crazy, and we'll be back. Okay, it's just been over 20 minutes. This is thickening up a little. So I'm going to, I added a little more sand. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of just do a little bit on here of this darker. I don't want too much of this. So I'm just going to do it like this. I almost need it in a squeeze bottle so that you don't get these drips, because I really don't want the drips. Again, my control of art. Why I can't paint in watercolors. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of thin these out a little. It's not really the color I wanted because I ended up with the wrong color and then just added the right color to it. So this isn't the best, but it's okay, it'll do for now. This is just an experiment. It's not anything I'm ever going to attempt to sell. Now I'm going to pour, I don't know how this is going to work. I hope it works. I'm a little nervous actually. Maybe I'll wait on that. Okay, so now I'm just going to pour around this very carefully. Like there's a bit too much here. Okay. Spreading out a little more than I wanted it to. See what happens there. Okay, so just a little bit more here. Over here. Ooh, too much, too much, too much. Too much. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna take a little bit of the mineral spirits and just see if I can get that darker inside to swirl a little bit. See what we can get it to do here. Okay, so I'm not getting exactly the look I wanted here. So again, trial and error. I feel like the blue, the dark blue, there's just too much of it. Way too much of it. So we'll see. Also, this mineral spirits doesn't seem to be working like I thought it would. I actually didn't buy mineral spirits. I bought just thinner, but I thought it would work the same, but I don't think it does. So, because I don't see the ink really moving the way it did for Sue Finley when she used it. All right, now let's see if we can do this without burning. I actually don't mind the, you know, I'm just gonna leave the bubbles because I don't want to burn the plastic. I don't want to melt that. And I also don't mind the bubbles. It gives it the look of splashing water. So I think I'm fine with it. Now I want to put a little bit over the base, just a tiny, tiny bit. And hopefully it'll spread out. I just want it to look a little bit the color of the water over the sand. Put the shells over the shells. There. Whoops, too much, too much, too much. And then I want to add, because I'm a sea glass lover, I want to add one of my little pieces of blue sea glass. Oh, wouldn't you know, the wrong side went down. Oh, there goes that 50% thing again. See if I can flip it over. Oh, it's got sand on it now. There, a little piece of sea glass from Puerto Rico. All right. Yeah, not thrilled. Not thrilled. So I'm going to let this sit for a while, and then I'm going to come back and pour more over top, because I want these tendrils to be quite thick. Not thick width-wise, but thick height-wise. So I'm going to come back and build it up a little. Hopefully that's what will happen. Yeah, and see how that works. Hopefully it works. What I've learned so far is that even though the bowl may not be turning out as I vision in my head, they're still actually quite pretty, even though, you know, it's not the way I pictured it. I'm still loving it. Although the better I get, like the bowl I made yesterday, I mean, that I unwrapped today, makes me realize how much better it is than the second bowl I made, the Caribbean storm wave one. I can't remember what I called it, Caribbean ocean waves. The white on that is just far too thick, far too thick. You know what I'm realizing? I think I should have poured the lighter first and then this color. I think that would have been better. That's okay. Do that next time. And I'm not adding any crystals to this one. Although maybe I should around the bottom so it looks like it's bubbling up. I'll do that in the next layer. So I'm going to let this sit for probably an hour. Then I'm going to come back and build it up a little bit. Okay, it's been an hour or so. I added a little more and it's all run together in a big circle pretty much. But that's okay because I'm still going to drape it and hopefully it'll run and we'll get some drips. I also took the shells and the sea glass out because I realized that's on the bottom facing the table and it's going to make an uneven surface. So what I'm going to do is when it's all poured and dried and formed, then I'm going to pour some more resin inside the bowl with the sand and put the shells in at that point. Silly me, but thankfully I realized it before it was too late. So it's going to be a few more hours, I think, before we can put this up over the bottle, and then we'll see what kind of drippy mess we get, and hopefully it'll turn into something really pretty. I also added some crystals to make bubbles, and I did the second pour over top, but like I said, it's all just spread out. I kind of even went up over the edge a little, hoping that would hold the resin in place. Stupid me. I mean, it's a liquid. How's that going to work? It's not. But anyway, yeah, so I'll be back when we can put this over the bottle. Okay, it's getting quite set up, and because I want it to drip quite a bit, I'm going to put it on the bottle now. So here's the bottle again. I'm going to use the smaller end. I want to use the I want to use the IKEA milk bottle end. Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay, so it's draping on here very nicely, which is great. And Now I just need it to run. All right, leave that for overnight. Okay, so here we have it the next morning. As you can see, I've removed it from the this, and I wanted to talk about this because you saw on previous videos how I struggled with the various mats I've used to pour on. The silicone mat pours great. I like it. I liked the way it handled, but it tore when I tried to take it off. It got stuck in parts, and also when I was trying to tape it down, tape wouldn't stick to it, and it was quite stiff, so it sat out a bit. When I wanted it tighter, it sat out. The cling wrap kind of collapses down really flat, so it was difficult to get some body. I had to put those sponges up underneath to lift it out a little, and then removing the acrylic from the cling wrap was a nightmare. As you saw, it tore, and I ended up picking at yesterday's vase, the last vase, for I don't know, an hour to 2 hours on my couch trying to get all the cling wrap out, and I couldn't get it all out, and I eventually torched some of it just to burn it away. So this, with this vase, I keep calling it a vase, it's really just a bowl, but with this bowl, there's some very deep creases in here. I don't know if you can tell. And I was like, oh, this is not going to come out without tearing. Well, it took a little bit of pulling and careful, maneuvering, but it did come out and it didn't tear. And it was by far the easiest product I've used so far. So it's the perfect gauge for holding some body to the wet resin, but also peeling off without tearing. So as you can see with this, I got some running, some long drips here that I quite like, but it's very uneven. And if I was just gonna leave it this bowl, I would probably cut these off because they're a bit ridiculously long. But what I've decided to do is pour a second bowl over top. So it'll be a double bowl. And if I were to show you this bowl to completion, this video would be far too long. So I'm going to end it here at part 1, and we'll do the second part of the bowl in another video called part 2.